In the quiet space between the ticks of a clock, time becomes more than a measure. It stretches, folds, and layers itself in ways we cannot always perceive. These layers are like sheets of a hidden map, each revealing a new truth about our existence. At the core of these layers lies the electromagnetic spectrum. It is the invisible web that connects all things. Light, radio waves, X-rays, all manifestations of energy moving through time. Each frequency tells a story, a different chapter in the book of our universe. And yet, most of us only see a fragment of this spectrum, living in a narrow slice of what is possible. Gravity, too, is part of this layer. Not just a force that pulls us down, but an electromagnetic relationship. It is energy binding us to the earth, holding us in place while time continues to flow. And in this invisible tether, we are anchored to the first layer, the realm of fossil fuels. A world where we have relied on the remnants of ancient energy, trapped beneath the surface, to propel our progress. Fossil fuels represent the first layer. A layer that, in many ways, has been both a gift and a curse. They are the foundation of industrial growth, but they also keep us bound to the ground, unable to transcend the limitations they impose. This layer is heavy. It is thick with the weight of history, pulling us down as we try to rise. To escape this first layer, we need something new. A device, perhaps, that does not rely on the old ways. Something that can break free from the gravitational pull of fossil fuels and allow us to explore new possibilities. This is where the concept of weightlessness enters. In a world without gravity, without heat, without friction, we begin to see beyond the first layer. As we look to the final frontier, outer space, we understand that it is not just a physical destination but a layer of time itself. Space is the ultimate layer, free from the constraints that bind us to Earth. It is where time can stretch, where the possibilities are infinite. We are all counting, watching the rotating device of time tick forward. But perhaps, to truly evolve, we must stop counting and start feeling. Feeling the layers, moving between them, and understanding that time is not something to conquer but something to flow through. In the second layer, we begin to realize the limitations of our current technology. The devices we've created, those bound to the consumption of fossil fuels, are like chains that hold us to the earth. They are relics of an older era, a time when energy could only be harvested from the remnants of what was. This is not where humanity's journey ends, but it is where our struggle begins. We stand at the threshold, knowing that the tools we have are not enough. The device we need to escape this layer must operate beyond the constraints of fossil fuels. It must function without weight, without heat, and without the drag of history holding it back. This device is not merely a machine, it is a metaphor for evolution, for shedding the skin of the past to embrace the future. And what lies ahead is the third layer, a space where energy moves differently. In this layer, the electromagnetic spectrum reveals more of itself. Here, gravity is not just a force but a field of potential. We begin to see that gravity, like time, can be manipulated. It can be softened, stretched, even reversed. The laws of physics as we know them start to dissolve, and we understand that what we once thought impossible is merely a limitation of our perception. In this layer, weightlessness becomes more than an absence of gravity. It is a state of mind. Without the heavy pull of the earth, without the friction of fossil fuels, we are free to explore the vastness of space. And in that exploration, we uncover truths about the universe that were always there, just hidden beneath the surface. But to reach this point, we must let go. We must release our attachment to the first layer and everything it represents: industrial growth, material progress, the need to control and consume. Instead, we must learn to harness the invisible forces that surround us. The electromagnetic spectrum is not just a tool, it is a guide. It shows us how energy flows, how time layers itself, and how gravity can be overcome. As we ascend through these layers, we begin to see that the final frontier, outer space, is not a place, but a state of being. It is the ultimate freedom, the ability to move beyond the limitations of the Earth and into the vast expanse of time itself. And yet, even as we approach this frontier, there is a sense of calm. A realization that space, like time, is not something to conquer. It is something to embrace, to move through with grace and understanding. We are no longer bound by the ticking clock or the rotating device. In this moment, we are weightless, timeless, free. As we continue our journey through these layers, we encounter the profound realization that existence is not linear, but rather a tapestry woven from countless threads of time. Each thread represents a different potential, a different path we could take. In this multidimensional space, our choices ripple across the fabric of reality, shaping the very essence of what we experience. This tapestry is intricately connected to the electromagnetic spectrum. Here, the colors of light illuminate our path, revealing hidden possibilities we have yet to explore. The energies that govern our universe are not static, they are fluid, constantly shifting and evolving. The more we understand this dynamic interplay, the more we can align ourselves with the natural rhythms of the cosmos. Gravity, in this context, becomes a teacher. It reminds us of the weight of our past decisions, the gravity of our actions. But as we learn to manipulate this force, we also learn to release ourselves from its constraints. We begin to float, not just in a physical sense, but in a spiritual one. The heaviness of expectation and fear begins to dissipate, revealing a lighter existence that flows effortlessly between the layers of time. In this state of weightlessness, we find ourselves more attuned to the electromagnetic waves that surround us. They whisper secrets of the universe, messages of connection and harmony. Each wave carries with it a frequency, a resonance that aligns with our innermost being. As we attune ourselves to these vibrations, we become aware of the interconnectedness of all things. We are no longer isolated beings navigating through life, we are part of a vast, intricate web that binds us together. With this understanding, we can start to envision a new device, an instrument of ascension that utilizes the energies of the universe. This device does not rely on the past, but instead harnesses the potential of the future. It operates on the principles of resonance and synergy, creating harmony between all elements of existence. As we construct this new device, we move beyond the limitations of fossil fuels and the constraints of our current technologies. We create a means of propulsion that is not just efficient but also deeply respectful of the energies we harness. It becomes a symbol of our evolution, a testament to our commitment to transcend the first layer and explore the boundless possibilities that lie ahead. This journey to the final frontier, outer space, is not just a physical exploration. It is an internal voyage as well. As we reach for the stars, we also reach within ourselves, discovering the layers of our own consciousness. Each layer holds wisdom, and each insight propels us forward into a new understanding of what it means to exist. In the vastness of space, time unfolds differently. It stretches and bends, creating new pathways for exploration. As we navigate this expanse, we begin to see the universe not as a collection of isolated events but as a continuous flow of energy and time. This awareness allows us to transcend the boundaries of our previous understanding, revealing the infinite nature of existence itself. With each passing moment, we realize that we are not just observers of this journey, we are active participants in the cosmic dance of life. Each step we take, each decision we make, sends ripples through the layers of time, shaping the future in ways we cannot yet fully comprehend. And as we float through this tapestry, weightless and free, we find ourselves on the brink of a new beginning, ready to embrace the infinite potential that lies ahead.